The Cabinet. A stuffed wombat production.
This is the Shirehampton Stuffed Wombat Society with their performance of The Cabinet. Our story starts... Wait, we're going over live to the BBC for an urgent news flash.
And if you are just joining us, I can tell you that the Act, informally known as the Will of the People Bill, passed its third reading and will be signed into law immediately. In a rather petulant final message, the current Prime Minister, Mr. Stump, wrote, "You didn't like first past the post. You absolutely hated proportional representation. So screw you. You asked for it. From now on, UK government MPs will be picked at random. And you thought jury service was a pain in the arse. Well, just wait until you're nominated to be a government minister. Anyway, I'm off to see King Charles to tell him my government is through with this fiasco. Once I'm done at the palace, I'm taking the first flight to Tenerife to get myself a tan and the mother of all hangovers." In the last half hour, political commentators and legal experts have been hotly debating whether any of this is lawful or even feasible. But given the terms of the bill, the first so-called election will take place next Thursday. The legislation dictates that the chosen representatives receive a governmental summons in the post first thing on Friday.
Hello? This is, Timothy Mugg. Yes? Who's this?
Mugg, there's a brown envelope on the doormat. It looks very official. I think it might be, a summons to be in Parliament.
What?
It's Friday.
Is it?
Friday, as in the day after Thursday. And the election was supposed to have taken place yesterday.
Yes, I know.
Mugg, are you all right? You sound a bit distracted.
I've been selected.
What? You got the letter?
Yes, I didn't take much notice at first. I thought it was my tax return. I'm still in shock.
Well, I'm sure you'll make a splendid MP. What constituency did they give you?
I don't remember, but I'm not just an MP. I've been put in the Cabinet.
Blimey. Did it say what position in the Cabinet?
I didn't read that far. Hang on. Let me check. Oh.
What?
They're making me Secretary of State for Defence.
Well, at least you're vaguely qualified for a military role.
I suppose so. Anyway, why are you ringing me?
I got a brown envelope too. Let's hope it's nothing too arduous. MP for some remote community that no one cares about.
Yes, fingers crossed. Go on, open it.
Here goes.
Well?
You have to be kidding.
What? Zung, hello?
Oi, anyone know who's in charge?
I think that would be me.
Who are you?
Dick Zung.
Right, so why do you think you're in charge then?
Well, I was picked to be Prime Minister.
Another wealthy, straight, old white man. Typical. Are you even British with a name like that?
Look, you don't know anything about me or my heritage. Besides, I didn't ask for this job, Mrs... I'm sorry, I have no idea who you are or what department you're from.
It's Miss Tower. Eileen Tower, and I've got an education. Now, sod an idea why. I left school at 14 when I had our Trixie Bell.
Well, Ms. Tower, I'm sure you'll have lots of good ideas on how we might improve our education system.
Doubt it.
Oh, I'm sure you'll grow into the role.
Nah.
Right. Could I call this cabinet meeting to order? First, I'd like to welcome you all to 10 Downing Street. As you probably just heard, my name is Dick Zung, and I've been selected as Prime Minister. Now, I know that most of you wouldn't have chosen to do this, so let's try and make this as painless as possible. If we could go round the table and introduce ourselves and which department we've been given, I think that would be a good start.
I'm Timothy Mugg, and I've been given defence.
Yeah, right. I'm Eileen Tower and I'm doing education.
Anne Dedman, Health and Social Care.
Will Makepeace, Foreign and Commonwealth Office.
Kia tit. Oh, prick. I'll have to write it down for you.
Keir Tittingham Prickett. Yes, that's a bit of a mouthful, and you do have quite a nasty stammer, Keir.
Yes, indeed. I've been given the Home Office.
Great, thank you, Keir. Moving on, you are...
Robot. Robert Maersk, Department of Work and Pensions.
Are you okay? You look very pale.
I am fine. All my systems are working at maximum efficiency.
Fair enough. Right, who do we have next?
Beryl Boyd, Department of Media, Culture and Sport.
Nicky McTavish, Secretary of State for Scotland.
Freddie Truman, Minister for Children.
Blimey, you don't look old enough to vote. How old are you?
18.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay. Right, who's next?
Ben. Whitewood. Department of Intergalactic Affairs.
I didn't know there was a Department of Intergalactic Affairs.
That's what it said in the letter. I was told it was very hush-hush.
Right-ho. Moving on.
Bill, Thatcher, Secretary of State for Wales.
Are you both okay? It sounds like you've both been breathing helium.
I think it's just a touch of Bognorian flu. The doctor says it wasn't contagious.
Dedman, Health and Social Care again. Look, there's no such thing as Bognorian flu. I should know. I'm a fully qualified GP.
The doctor did say it was a very rare condition. I doubt if you'll have come across it in your training.
Are you suggesting my training wasn't up to scratch? I've got 20 years of experience too, and let me tell you, I've never heard of Bognorian flu.
Okay, Miss Dedman, Mr. Wedgwood, can we drop the matter? Miss Dedman, you can examine the pair of them when we have a coffee break and give me your considered diagnosis. Okay?
If you insist.
Right, good. Thank you all for that. So, let's get down...
Sorry, I'm late. The local train broke down. Then my bike had a puncture. I would have been here a couple of hours ago if everything had gone to plan.
Never mind, you're here now. Please take a seat. We were just going round the table introducing ourselves. You are?
Oh, Jenny Kenny.
Nice to meet you, Jenny. What department did they give you?
Transport.
Ah. Oh, well, let's crack on. I think...
Hang on. Aren't we missing someone? We don't seem to have a Chancellor of the Exchequer. Well, you do now.
Blimey, it's Adolf Brussel. I thought you were in jail.
Parole last Wednesday, letter on Friday. What was the odds? Clearly not as long as they should have been. Putting a crook like you in charge of the Exchequer is like leaving a toddler alone in a sweet shop. I'll be keeping a close eye on you, Brussel.
Look, Mugg, perhaps we should let bygones be bygones. I want to make this government work. A true government of the people, for the people, and all that.
Listen, Zung, why don't you do a quick cabinet reshuffle and make Brussel Minister of,
Justice? We don't seem to have a Minister for Justice.
Yeah, very funny. I was thinking of Minister for Northern Ireland. I doubt even Brussel could make anything more awkward there.
Mugg, old boy, calm down. I'm not doing a reshuffle before we've finished our first cabinet meeting. The press would have a field day. I can see the headlines in the Daily Mail already. Embattled Zung reshuffles cabinet.
OK, you're the boss. That's a phrase I never thought I'd utter.
Good. Back to business. So, clearly I need to appoint a Minister for Justice and another for Northern Ireland, but they can wait 24 hours. Now, I think I'd like us all to do a bit of brainstorming. Obviously, we're all very new to our posts, so I'd like to get your thoughts on how your department can get the country back on the road to prosperity. Let's start with education. Miss Tower. Eileen.
Why are you picking on me?
I'm not picking on you. I think your department can make a major difference to our country's future. In the words of one of my predecessors, education. I can never remember whether it was 3 or 4 educations, but you get the idea. So?
Well, I learnt nothing at school. I thought it was a total waste of time. I bunked off most days anyway.
But having the basics, the 3 R's, is critical to a child's success in later life.
I don't know about the 3 R's, but that Claire, she definitely had one fat arse.
Not arse, the 3 R's. Reading, writing and arithmetic.
So why are they called the 3 R's then? Even I know only 2 of them start with the letter R.
I think you'll...
Mugg, can we park this discussion for now? Eileen, could I leave you to have a think about how you'd make our school system more suitable for children of all abilities and backgrounds?
You're giving me homework. I ain't doing that.
Come on, you are Secretary of State for Education, so...
Or what? You're going to put me in detention?
Look, let's move on to Keir at the Home Office. Any suggestions on how we might tackle illegal immigration?
Yes, I think we should shift the public's perception of the problem.
OK, what do you propose?
If the migrants are coming to this country in small, flimsy boats, then the solution is obvious.
Really? Do you have a radical solution that'll break the people smugglers' business model?
Yes, absolutely. We put the migrants on bigger boats.
That's lunacy.
Not really. Lots of ferries run from Dover to Calais. If we charge them even half the price the people smugglers do, we can use the money to employ more immigration officers.
That's a very interesting approach. So what would you do with those that fail in their asylum claims?
Throw them off Brighton Pier.
What? You can't do that. I'm sure that's illegal under international law.
OK, so Southend then?
Could I ask you to rethink the whole policy? The people want fewer migrants.
I think you'll find Canute tried to hold back the tide too.
I can see why the last PM quit. Right, moving on. Now, what about you, Mr. Thatcher? How are you going to help Wales?
By stopping the boats.
You're Secretary of State for Wales, not the Home Office.
Yes, I know. I'm not talking about the small boats crossing the channel. I'm talking about all boats.
Surely your policy will affect the Holyhead car ferry. That's going to make a lot of people unemployed and put many local companies out of business. I really don't see how that'll help Wales.
By stopping the boats, we reduce noise pollution in the ocean, thereby improving the life of every whale.
Ah, I see we're talking at cross purposes. You're Secretary of State for Wales, the country, not Secretary of State for Whales, the type of cetacean.
Oh. You'll have to forgive me. I'm a bit dyslexic.
Nice one, Bill.
Look, I'm sure we can organise someone to help you there. I would ask the Secretary of State for Education to provide some assistance, but I'm not sure that's going to improve matters.
How am I going to help? With his belching?
What? No, he's dyslexic, not dyspeptic.
Oh, he's uncoordinated and a bit wobbly, is he?
That's dyspraxic. Oh, God. Mugg, please tell me you've got a decent strategy for the UK's defence. It needs to cover attacks from both land, sea and air.
I can guarantee that the Exchequer won't be able to afford them, which is why I've come up with several highly cost-effective solutions that will potentially save us some money to boot.
Brilliant! Hurrah for Timothy Mugg!
So first, I propose we scrap all our aircraft carriers, destroyers and cruisers.
Yes?
And invest in trained killer whales.
I don't think I follow.
Well, with the money we save on marine diesel alone, we can pay to feed hundreds of pods of killer whales. They'll be trained to seek out enemy submarines and ships and, when given the signal, swim up next to them.
And then what?
That's when we detonate the explosives strapped to them.
As Secretary of State for Wales, I object to that.
You're Secretary of State for Wales, not Wales.
Oh, yes, I forgot.
Nice try, Bill.
Cruel, but workable, I suppose. What about land-based attacks? How do you envisage defending against them?
Drones.
Ah, of course. Cheap and effective airborne defence against invading soldiers and armoured vehicles.
No, drones. The thing you get on bagpipes.
Sorry, Mugg, you're not making any sense.
Well, with the money we make from the scrap metal in our ships, we can afford to train an army of bagpipers. They can be stationed at regular intervals around the British Isles. I think we could even achieve round-the-clock cover.
Right. And they will do what if we're invaded?
Start playing, of course. I mean, who's going to stay and listen to that racket?
As Secretary of State for Scotland, I resent that I'm not having our musical heritage used as a weapon of war.
Quite right, Mrs. McTavish. Anyway, Mugg, what happens if the invaders are wearing ear defenders?
Bugger. Didn't think of that.
Never mind. What about your airborne defence strategy?
I think our current low-cost weapon systems are sufficient.
Which are?
Javelin and rapier. I gather they're quite effective.
You mean the surface-to-air missile systems?
What, sir?
You've gone rather pale. You do know that those are missiles and not actual javelins and swords?
I did wonder how you'd stop an attack helicopter with a flimsy sword. Oh, we are so screwed. I've only budgeted about 20 grand for them.
Mugg, old boy, everyone makes mistakes. Please try and reformulate a more workable strategy before the press get hold of this. Perhaps the best way to not get invaded is to have a good foreign policy. What have you got lined up, Mr. Makepeace? I hope you've got a solid strategy on China.
Oh, absolutely. I gather IKEA offer really good deals on it. I think they even stock Royal Dalton.
China as in the country China, not the crockery.
Sorry, I must apologise. I wasn't paying attention.
I asked what our foreign policy was going to be.
Well, unfortunately, everyone hates us because we either invaded them, stolen from them, or enslaved their people. The others we were on vaguely peaceful terms with have now taken the hump after Brexit. In short, we're going to have to resort to bribery to build alliances.
As Chancellor, I can tell you right now that we have absolutely no budget for that.
But surely the Americans are willing to support our national values of peace and democracy?
Unfortunately, their support is conditional on the entire population of England moving to the far north of Scotland so that England could be turned into a Tudor theme park and resort.
On your bike, pal, this ain't happening.
Surely there was something we could offer the Americans.
Well, if you didn't like the last suggestion, then you're going to hate their other offer.
Which is?
England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland become the 51st through 54th states of America. Then we wouldn't have to worry about foreign policy at all. It would all be handled by Washington.
I'm afraid that's definitely not going to happen. There'd be civil unrest, not to mention chlorinated chicken and hormone-fed beef. Can't anyone offer me some shred of good news? Yes, Mr. Wedgwood.
Call me Ben. Anyway, as Secretary of State for Intergalactic Affairs, I can tell you that Great Britain is viewed in a very positive light. Indeed, the people of Planet Bognor...
Planet Bognor? Surely you just mean Bognor, you know, the place on the south coast.
No, I'm Secretary of State for Intergalactic Affairs, not Minister for the South of England. Anyway, the people of Bognor are very keen to strike a trade deal on tea, cake, curry, and most of all, mince pies. You're looking at a planet-wide market that could be worth trillions of schlonk.
Really? That much? Crumbs, Brussels, did you hear that? All our troubles are over. Woohoo!
And just how much is one Bognorian schlonk worth in pounds sterling?
Let me check. Oh, it looks like it's approximately 1 billion Bognorian schlonk to the pound.
So that's... my mental arithmetic isn't as good as it used to be.
About £1,000 sterling. We'd be making a massive loss on the packaging alone.
Why me? Why didn't they choose my neighbour, Mrs. Honeyman, for Prime Minister? Why not Miss Lovelace? It's not fair. Oh, Please, Mrs. Deadman, tell me you have great plans for the National Health Service.
I have indeed. Here, take a look at this new app. I developed it to help streamline the patient experience.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Progressive. Let me have a look.
Here, you can try it out on my iPhone. You enter your symptoms at the top, and it'll provide a diagnosis and a course of action.
Okay. Let's see. Right, symptoms. I have a pain in my shoulder. Press enter and... Oh, here's its diagnosis. What? You are dying. Take a paracetamol and lie down.
Remember, it's only version 1. It's a bit rough around the edges.
Fair enough. Let me try something else then. I've cut my thumb badly on a kitchen knife. What should I do? Oh, having a think about that one. Right, it's come back with an answer. What? Seriously? You have no thumb. You're having a psychotic delusion. Take 2 paracetamol and lie down in a darkened room.
I'll agree that it probably needs a little more testing.
I think that's a significant understatement.
But it has the capabilities to transform the health service.
Assuming a misdiagnosis doesn't give the patient a heart attack in the interim.
But the app's pretty hot on diagnosing heart conditions.
Well, that's a start. How many lives has it saved then?
The original interface was significantly more complicated, and the test candidate died before they could press enter.
Poor sod, killed by an iPhone app. He should have just dialed 999. So let's give the app the benefit of the doubt. How long is it going to take to perfect, and how much will it cost?
A production quality version should be ready in about 5 years, and I've estimated the cost of test and development to be about 500 million.
That'll be a no from the Exchequer then.
OK. If we really cut corners and costs, I could get it ready by next week for about £500.
I'm not signing off on an app that has the potential to kill patients.
In that case, I resign. You can find yourself a new health secretary.
OK, please don't resign. Can't you simply have the app say, see a doctor if it's uncertain? That way we don't kill anyone, but it looks like we're embracing technology.
I think I can work with that approach.
Good. So at least we have something we can sell to the press at the end of today's meeting. Right. Media, culture and sport. What do you have for us, Mrs. Boyd?
As you know, the creative industries have traditionally been a major source of revenue for the UK government. However, in recent years, that income has come under pressure from overseas. So I've come up with a 30-year strategy to reinvigorate the arts. I want to see Great Britain back in its rightful place as a world leader in dramatic arts and get all those poor lovies off the dole.
Oh, this could be very interesting. Maybe a little too long-term, but I think I can sell the vision if it's a good strategy. So, go on. What have you got for me?
A Shakespeare revival.
That sounds very exciting. I used to do a bit of amateur acting myself, you know. So, what are the milestones in this strategy?
Well, day 1, we dig up Shakespeare's body.
What? Wait.
Then I'm guessing the cloning process might take a couple of weeks.
No, hang on.
And all being well, by the time he's 30, he should have written several new works. I reckon...
Stop! That's not how cloning works.
Oh, isn't it? My degree was in drama, not biology. You'll have to forgive me.
Perhaps you've got some better ideas for sports, then?
I haven't a clue about sports, but I gather football's quite popular. Don't the football clubs generate a lot of money?
Yes, I believe so.
So couldn't the government buy up all the Premier League clubs? I'm sure UK PLC would benefit from the investment.
But the clubs would have to be for sale.
But can't the government issue some sort of compulsory purchase order?
I have no idea if that's legal or not, but it's worth investigating. I'm sure we could spin something to the press about making a major investment in UK sport. Excellent. Victory snatched from the jaws of defeat, as you might say. Thank you, Mrs. Boyd. Right, who's next? Mrs. Kenny, what can the Department of Transport do to improve our lives?
Well, I've been strategising.
Oh, I must make a note to use that word when I talk to the press.
I've been strategising with Robert here.
We make a great team.
This is brilliant. Interdepartmental cooperation from day one. Go on, what have you got?
So I'm keen to boost cycling uptake, and Robert says that the future success of the country depends on AI.
AI, that's artificial intelligence.
Thank you, I'm not that ignorant. I do know what AI is.
Then you'll know advanced AI requires massive data centers full of computers that require large amounts of electricity.
Yes, I am aware of that too.
Well, how do you suppose we generate the required electricity without ruining the environment?
Look, can you get to the point, please?
We give every adult in the UK an exercise bike, which, in turn, we connect to the national grid. The bikes generate electricity that can be used to power the biggest AI data centre on the planet. The people are paid on the amount of power they generate. They'll be required to pedal for a minimum of 8 hours a day. And the wonderful side effect of this strategy is that we cut obesity at a stroke, thereby reducing the load on the NHS.
But if people are on these bikes for 8 hours a day, they won't be able to work.
They won't need to. The AI data centers will be able to crack the encryption of every foreign government, corporation and individual worldwide. The opportunities for blackmail and extortion will be huge.
I'll pretend I didn't hear any of that. I couldn't possibly sanction it. But could you start a feasibility study as soon as possible? Right, moving on. Mr. Truman, how are you going to improve the life of the country's children?
My department plans to give each child a PlayStation 5 Pro and 1 bar of chocolate every day.
No chance, Sonny. The Treasury isn't funding that. Are you sure you're 18? It's just your moustache is about to fall off.
Oh, is it? Goodbye.
Crumbs, you ran away. Oh well, moving on. Scotland, what have you...
Bloody typical. Scotland's an afterthought to use lot. I had loads of brilliant ideas about how we could improve the lives of people both north and south of the border. But you know what? You can stuff it.
Come, Mrs. McTavish, I meant no slight to Scotland or its people. Please accept my apology and enlighten us with your proposals.
Well, I was going to propose we use our oil to fund massive increases in education and...
It's not your oil.
Oh, yeah. So Scotland's a few miles from the Kent coast, is it?
No, not exactly.
Right. So it's Scotland's oil?
No, it is not. Ouch! She hit me.
Ladies, gentlemen. Hang on, what's that noise?
Blimey.
Your Majesty. What are you doing here? You lot are bloody hopeless. One's been listening in on your meeting. What? How? You don't think one relies entirely on that red dispatch box of ministerial papers, do you? No, one's got this room bugged. That's, illegal. Probably. One doesn't care. One is taking back control and declaring a return to an absolute monarchy sanctioned by God. Now, you lot, scarper, before one has you locked up in the Tower of London and charged with treason.
Cripes!
Quick, run! Right, let one make Britain great again. God save the King. The Cabinet was written by Tim Reed and starred Richard Hall as the announcer, Dig Zung, Alien Bill Thatcher and King Charles. Tim Reed was Timothy Mugg, Keir Tittingham Prickett, Alien Ben Wedgwood and Adolph Brussel. Sam McCann was the BBC newsreader, Beth McCann was Eileen Tower, Paddy Fowler was Will Makepeace, Sarah Galton was Anne Deadman, Freddie Galton was Freddie Truman, Jill Barrington was Beryl Boyd, Hazel Hall was Jenny Kenny, Jackie McRae was Nicky McTavish, and Apple Mac was Robert Mursk. Sound effects were designed by committee, and it was a stuffed Wombat production.